All right, we're back in business. I'm back. Got another stream launching, multiple per day, because I'm working every day, all day, non-stop, throughout the night. I don't eat. I don't sleep. I just make stuff all non-stop. This is the Sam Cresson art stream. You are watching me, Sam Cresson, an illustrator, artist, person that is building out a comic book, an animated cartoon, and a legacy. I'm streaming pretty much every day, documenting my process. Sometimes it will be boring. You will probably not want to watch most of this. That's fine. I don't care. I'm going to still do it anyway. Let's get back to business. That's enough of the intros, introductions, and we got to rock and roll here. So when I left off on the last stream, I was coloring this background, and I had my whole computer went bonkers, and all my hotkeys stopped working, and shortcuts weren't right, and everything was weird. What happened was I had accidentally pressed a key somewhere, somehow, on the keyboard that switched my keys so that it would only type special characters. Took me a while to figure out that that's what was going on. So every time I hit a hotkey or press something on the keyboard, it was inputting the special character, and it was shifting around all my Photoshop settings and all of my Clip Studio settings. I opened Clip Studio Paint to see if I could work it, and it was messing up my whole screen and doing like screen in screen areas and all this stuff that I don't like and I didn't want to do. So what I did was I figured it out eventually, restarted the computer, reset the keyboard, all that. Back in business, had some lunch, and it's just time to get down now. I gotta finish this page. I'm gonna finish the final colors to this page, and then I gotta do an animation. And I'm gonna probably take a break, stop the stream, start a new stream where documenting the animation that I'm doing. All right, so where were we when we finished this? I was on this background, and I'd put in these highlights, I think, or maybe I think I'd put in these highlights. So we had the cell shading. What is this? That's the light cell shading. So now I'm going to put in my grain texture. So we're going to go dark grain. Oh no. Okay. Like, did I just hit something again? Dark grain. And then we're going to do light grain. So let's go to multiply here. Let's just pull a color off our characters. This line art can go in here, I think. Okay. Let's do that's really dark. We could do this tan color, or I could keep with the blues, but I'll go with the tan color. Okay. We'll see how that looks first. The tan color may not work. Dark grain set to multiply. Let's pull up the grainy brush. Some kind of texture brush. I've been using this one, this coarse scatter brush. Okay. And let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that'll work. It kind of browns things up. Let's just test it. So we can do that one, or we could do like a blue. I mean, it's just gonna look more green. Let's go with this. Let's go with this brown color. Why not? Okay. Turn off the figures in the rendering. And I'm gonna texture this from the background and foreground. So we want to go to the flats. Select what the 33. Let's knock that down to like 11. And we're gonna drop in this grain texture back here, bring it all the way up to the front. That's good. And then I'll just erase it a little bit on so there's a gradient to it. Good enough. Let's put it in the background now. Okay, so I just go here and I'm just gonna go selection, invert, and let's get this back here. Lighten it up there. Turn off that. Hit this one here, wand, hit that, and leave it off. Let's go here and hit that. Delete it off. All right. Let's what are we doing? I've kind of put a lot on that bush, but you know, I kind of like it. It kind of integrates it into the whole background more, makes it kind of less stand out. So we'll just leave it. Looks good to me. Let's select our trees. And pull this dark green up through the shadow side of our trees here. That looks pretty cool. I'll take it. I'll go ahead and give that also just a touch of a gradation there. Now we're going to go to the background. All right. And the light sources. Oh, I hate that stupid contextual tax, whatever it is. This is going to be the last page that I color adjust in Photoshop. It's going to be the last one. I'm going to do all my color adjustments from here on forth. It's on stream. I'm making the commitment. It's going to take me a little longer at first, but I'm going to switch. I'm going to do them all on Clip Studio because I'm sticking to it. Adobe free by the end of the summer. Maybe the end of July even. Adobe free. I'm sick of Adobe. So, sick of Adobe taking all my money. That's what I'm sick of. And I'm sick of all their stupid tools. Their contextual taskbar, their Firefly, and all this garbage doesn't even really work. I will admit that the thing that will, like, if let's say I have a painting like this and I need like to extend my painting by like a 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch to fit into what I'm going to print on or something, like being able to extend it, that's kind of the only thing that's like moderately helpful. But honestly, it even does that wrong most of the time, and I can just extend it like the old school way, which was like I'd clone stuff and then just manually paint it in. So yeah, I'm out when it comes to Adobe. I'm out. I'm done. Okay, so now let's do the light grain. New layer. And we're gonna set this bad boy to, let's see what it looks like at color dodged. Not color dodge. Here, let's just put something in and overlay. You do overlay. Lighter color, screen lighten. Or vivid light. Hard mix? No. I'm gonna do overlay. I don't know. Is that too white? No, that's okay. We can deal with that. All right, let's just start selecting stuff. one is like, let me see here. I'm not gonna do that because that's not the color. Not the color that's in the foreground, so we're not gonna shift that around. Just gonna stick with what we've got. But yeah, I think I'll have this page finished today. Can I finish it in an hour? I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. It's possible. Yeah, I was thinking about these streams. I'm like, boy, if I actually stick through with this and just keep streaming my whole process and everything I'm making, I'm like, when I die, my kids would have all these videos so they could go back and watch, and it'd be like they're hanging out with me. But I was like, they probably won't want to watch these because I wouldn't want to. I'd be, first of all, it would be like, I think it'd be too sad. If my wife made like a million videos like this and then something happened to her, I put that on the wrong layer. I'm okay. I think it'd be too sad for me to go back and watch them. But you never know. Maybe it wouldn't. Maybe there'd come a time where I'd be ready to do that. I'm supposed to do that first. Okay, let's just do it this way. I don't need to get my stuff down into the nooks and crannies anyway. I get some of the tops of these ones, and then we're gonna get this foreground here. Nice. Let's get this here. Whoops. Yeah, so anyway, what I was talking about was, yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, you know, I don't think they'd want to watch this. Like, something happens to me and I'm not here anymore, but I've got all these videos. Maybe my great grandchildren or something, or great grandchildren. You know, it's like I have memories of I lived at the same time as my great grandmother and my great grandmother. My great grandmother died at 100 and she was 103, and I was 5 or 6 years old when she passed away. And I remember her vividly. Like, I have the memories of her, what she looked like, what she smelled like. My parents used to make me like hug her and kiss her and stuff, but she was like old and smelly. I remember all that, and I think, you know, no, there was nothing recorded then. Nothing. There's like a few photos. There's photos. No videos, no conversations, nothing like that. All right, let's do some color holds. And I'm just gonna color hold probably. Let's do a dark brown. This popped up on the other screen. That's what I was looking at. Maybe I should look at that over here though, because I realized later that you're mostly just looking at the side of my head. which, you know, whatever. There we go. So I just color held everything in dark brown, and see how that just kind of sets things back more, blends it together. Now what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to put another color hold on on this bad boy. Let me switch to something else here, because these would be, you know, these would not be as dark as the trees and stuff. I mean, these are just like vines and stuff. It's like plants. And let's go with the darkest green on there, and we'll make that what the top color is. So that's all good. What the? Okay, we got that. Now I could make a dark side and a light side to the trees. So let's do that. I'll bring my color picker over here so you can see what I'm doing. Just nudge it up a little bit. It's subtle. Nobody's going to know that I did this other than you and me. But we know. And it's definitely going to make these trees look, well, it may not make the trees look any different to anyone other than someone whose eye is trained. And in print, these subtleties probably won't even show up at all. But, you know, what can you do? All I can do is my best. And I'm doing the best, going to do the best I can to make this comic book look as cool as possible. And if that means I waste my time putting color holds on stuff, then I'm going to waste my time putting color holds on things. And I want to put it on the grass because I don't really think, oh, we do have a color hold on the grass. So do we want to lighten these foreground black marks? Why not? It's going to look a little bit more painterly, a little more finished, pushing the values a little closer together. Let's do it. Yes. That's actually looking really cool. Very happy with this background. I think I'm going to call it. That's it. So the background, you know, I'm not done yet. I'm not done. I don't like that. I don't like that brown underneath the whatever this is. These vines. Doesn't look that good. So I'm changing it. That's the great thing about art. You can change your mind whenever you want. Do what you want to do. Do what's going to make you happy first. Chances are, if you like it, if you like something a specific way, you know what? Chances are somebody else is going to too, also. And so just have, you got to believe in yourself, and you got to say, look, I know better. I know better than all these people. I don't need them to tell me how to do this stuff, how to make it, anything like that. I'm going to do it the way I want to, and I know better, and it's going to look really good. And let's just make a paint overlay here. It's hard to do that because you kind of have to stand up on your own. But you get used to that. What you want to get used to is being right when everybody else is wrong. That's hard to do. Because when everyone is thinking one way and you have to think the opposite of that river, that stream, it's all flowing one direction, and you have to stand against that current, that's not easy to do. You know, it's not easy to do. Okay. Let's save this. Now what we need is, I need to duplicate this background. So I think I go, I'm just going to do a copy merged. Let's just turn off this one. We have a whole nother background we have to make. Edit, copy merged. Paste it in. All right. I got 2 of these backgrounds. Put up the panel border, and background number 2, we're gonna drop it in here, but see how I made a little extra? So let's just kind of slide it over to there. So it's not exactly the same. Now I didn't paint that all the way in, so I need to. So let's just use, we'll go old school. We'll just use the stamp tool, or clone tool, and I'll just clone it in. And yeah, look, you didn't need AI tools to do that. You could actually still do it. And it's probably faster than trying to prompt your way through this bullshit prompting. Okay. So we got that done, looking good. Save that up. Now when we put our figures in, the rendering, boom, they're in an environment. Now there's a few things in here that I'm gonna delete here. We got these like gray lines there. Let's get those out. Now we've got this, and that's like atmosphere. I'll keep it in, but it's a little too much in some spots. So first thing I can do is I could knock it down like 50. Not too much. There we go. And now let's get our eraser and let's just erase it all out in some of these areas where it's like really crazy. I think that's enough. But that's cool. We got a little bit of atmosphere going on there. Okay, now there's actually no panel borders in this comic. They're just there as a guide. But I will remove that and crop all this stuff to size later. We're going to turn this off so it doesn't interfere with these bottom panels. Now, we've got this palm tree, and that has to be duplicated 3 times. And then we've got this final background. So what I'm thinking is do the final background and then the palm tree, because then I can match the palm tree to the background. I only have to do this background once, and this background's not going to be moved, actually. It's like a total recycle. So people can call me lazy because I didn't redraw the background 3 times. But we don't need to. And this is going to translate really nicely to animation when it's time to animate it. All right, so overwhelmed. We are overwhelmed. All right, so you can turn the figures off. And looks like that. I'll have to separate that out later. Okay, so now we've got the line art here, the flats here, and nothing else. So first of all, we don't need any of this stuff. Delete it off. Okay, we just need this bad boy right here. And I need to see is, we don't need that one. Will it fit in each panel? Yes, it will. All right, so all I need to do is just go through my color process on this. So step one, I'm going to set up all the layers right now and just work through them. So we're going to have a dark gradient, and that layer is going to be a multiply. Then we're going to have a light gradient, and that layer was, what were we using for that one? Linear dodge. Okay, then we're going to have a dark cell, and that's going to be a multiply. Then we're going to have a light cell. Let's see what that was. Where were we? The wrong stuff. That was divide. Okay, and then we have a dark grain layer. That's my texture, and we have a light grain. The dark grain was multiply. On a light grain, we did screen. This is important because these are the same backgrounds, the same environment. You know, this bush here is this bush right there. And then I think I duplicated that bush again here. But so it has to be the same colors. And so I'm going to do all these mixing layers so that it has this kind of depth, dimension, and painterly look to it. But we need colors to be the same. All right. So let's just turn these off. And I can start working my way through. So this is the dark gradient. And let's see, it's set to 100% opacity. We're just going to use a soft brush, like an airbrush. We're just going to start painting stuff in. Not on that layer. What the? How is that the case? Oh, whatever. Oh, I know why. The brush was at 20% opacity when I painted the top one. It was at 100% right there. Yeah, that's good. Knock it down just a tad. Okay. Actually, selection, let's inverse that. And then what I can do is go here, go minus that out. Reason for doing that is because then I don't have to get in here and like try and select all those little areas. You want to just do it fast. Didn't mean for that to happen. Okay. Get these trees done. Or not the trees, the background behind the trees. Good enough. Did I just do that on the flat layer? I did. All right, there we go. What's going on? Did I do something here? I did. Get this thing done. Why do I keep doing that? Because I'm trying to go too fast. That's cool. All right. I'll stop there for that part. It's kind of bothering me a little bit. Whoa. Leave that alone. Okay, let's go to the light gradient now. Same color. Oops. That's really light. It's just to knock this down now. Hmm. Okay. I'm done. All right, that's it for the gradients. Now we're gonna work to the cell. Light gradient, dark cell. So we're gonna do this color. I'm gonna switch to just like a brush like this. And let's start painting stuff in here. The entire underside of this would be dark. Um, 34%. So if I knock this to 34%, we know it's going to look exactly like the other side, the top one. I want some of this area under this plant. Just kind of get some little details in here. The texture of this grass. Oh, let's see what's going on here. All right, nothing. Keep drawing. I could talk about something while I do this. But what should I talk about? I don't know. What the? Fix that a little bit there. All right, I need to select all this stuff. somewhere, if I go there, somewhere it's, all right, we're good there. Yeah, it's gonna do this like kind of like this back and forth texture through here. Actually, I want to lighten the top side of it up a little bit so that even the texture gradiates down. All right, I need to do these trees now. So this is page 24 of 100 pages that I have done so far. Or no, this is page 25. And this first issue, there's one more page after this one. It's 26 pages. All right, that's cool. I'll take it. All right, now we're going to do the light cell. And that we basically use the same colors. Let's see here. 14%. So let's knock this down to 14. This is why digital is easier than traditional, though. In my opinion, it's easier. Because, like, you don't have to mix your value, your colors to get to this value. Like, I literally just slid that down. And then I was able to lock in the value to what I wanted it to be. Where, like, if this was a traditional painting, I would have to mix my paint to get here, you know. And eventually, I want to have the traditional art live stream going as well. But it's gonna be, I've got it. That's a whole nother setup, you know. And this is an easy setup. That would be a more difficult setup because it's like this one I'm just using what's built into the computer. That one I have to set up a webcam. And the webcam would have to be, you know, positioned over my work. I'd have to make sure the work's in view of the webcam. I'd have to make sure the desk is clean enough that there's like enough space to have the webcam on there. And all, you know, it just creates a whole nother set of friction, you know, where instead of sitting down and just working and getting the work done, I don't want to be sitting down and then tinkering with a whole bunch of different things to get like a live stream started. Like this is so easy. I just press like 3 buttons. The live stream starts, and I'm in and I'm working. I don't have to set anything up. I don't have to clean up any workspace. I don't have to make sure the camera's in the right position, that I'm not interfering with it, that the artwork's going to be seen. I don't have to deal with any of that to do this kind of stuff. But I will overcome those obstacles one at a time so that I can do traditional art live, because I do think it would be cool, and I would like to show those skills and like show people how I, you know, share how I do it, what my process is for my traditional art. And that's, you know, I did traditional art for years and years and years before learning the digital. and I still do traditional. I just picked up doing a lot of digital because I started animating all my comics, turning them into cartoons. And in order to do that, you can do it way faster and way more efficiently if you have a digital workflow and not traditional, because then you're going to scan it in, then you still got to rig it up, you still got to separate, then you got even more things you have to separate out. Like notice my backgrounds, they're already separate from my characters. My characters are painted out, rendered separate from the background. So that's already, that all that part of it is already set up and ready to go for a card, you know, for the animated version. So from that point of view, you know, that's why I'm been doing so much digital work lately. It's because for that reason. Now, I would like to do. I'm going to start getting more traditional work going again, more traditional paintings, more traditional inking. I want to get all that up and running soon. And I'm doing it still like at least a few times a week. But I can't stream. I can't. What? Oh, somehow I. Oh, because I'm on the flat layer. Duh. Put on this texture for this hedge here. So I'm putting on the hedge texturing, which is just basically just a bunch of nonsensical lines. But then we're gonna put a gradient on it, so it gradiates from the bottom up. I'm just knocking it down a little more, so it's not that important. All right, good enough. Now I've got to get these trees in. Oh, working that through. That's done. I'll take it. We'll I'll gradiate those lines as well. Good enough. Okay, now we're on dark grain, which is that color. Find those grainy brushes. It wasn't ink spray that I was using. It was like coarse scatter or something like that. That was what I was using. That line's a guide, and somehow I accidentally dragged it on here, and I forgot how to move it off. And I could look it up, but I don't want to. Just layering up textures and values. Long layer. Whatever that is, I'm putting texture over it. All right, what do we have left? We got to dark grain this, the trees. Usually do it this way. No, it's so like that. Boom, 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 boom. We'll make it wrong layer. Make it coming up from the bottom. I'm on the wrong layer. Dark green. That's the side. And then this guy here. I'm just getting fatigued from this now. Like, not that mentally taxing. It's just doing something like this for a very long time. It gets fatiguing. Let's go with texture on those. Working my way down here. Hit save really quick. It's like something that you got to remember to do. Hit that save button all the time. I think the autosaves are more prevalent now than when I first started learning all these softwares and stuff, but boy, that's just an old habit. Just hit that save button, hit that save button, hit that save button. Don't let anything go too long without saving it out. That's pretty cool there. Okay, now we're ready for, you know, I'm going to get these kind of bushes here. They don't have any dark green on them either. Let's get these bad boys. I remember I covered the other ones pretty much with the texture, and it looks pretty good. So I'll do that way. And then did I do the trees? I don't think I've done the trees yet. All right, let's erase this up. And somebody's texting me. Oh, gotta see what they want really quick. Save that. This is actually a really important text. So I gotta screenshot it all right now. This is a lot. So there's this group I'm in from that Lumalore workshop I did. Like everyone in the class just made a big text thread. And it's actually been really helpful. And someone just, I mean, holy cow, there's a lot of notes. They just shared all the notes from this class, which is a lot. Because it's a really complicated paint. And I don't see any way to download it, so I'm like literally just screenshotting all of it. All right, we're finishing up. I've got to do the trees still. Finish them. There's not much. Now, how do I? Let me see how I get rid of that guide. There we go. Now I got rid of it. Save this. Let's get rid of this. Okay. Turn all this on here. Turn this on. All right, we got everything here. These guys need shadows still. They need ground shadows. We need to do the tree, the coconut tree. And then we're done. Going for an hour. It's not bad. It's not bad. Check. All right. Some water. Let's finish this page off. So What would be the best order of operations for this? Let's go with start here. Put a mask on that. And that takes care of that. Next one. This guy. Whoops. No, I don't want that, man. Put that one on there, and then this one is here. That one on there. Now this one, actually not going to do it yet, or should I? I'll do it. There's that. Now, somewhere in here, there's some stuff that's like, let's do that too. Oops. The mask up first. All right, that cleans that up. Now let's get rid of the panel border. And like this one here, it looks like there's some spots in these where yeah, that's pretty cool. So that one's done. No, a few more spots. Let's make a paint over layer. Might as well label it paint over. What just happened? What's going on here? Looks like got to extend some of this stuff here. Or I'm just gonna make them. I'm just gonna adjust the mask because that's gonna be a huge hassle to extend all that. All right, that works. Now I've got a clean border there, and then this top part. Is that even with that? Let me see here. It's even. So, no, it's not. So it's going to be a lot easier to just pull this out and even that. Okay, so now that's all we did. Okay, so those panels are done. I'll fix this up in a minute. Oh. Okay, there's something going on here in the flats. Fingers. What? All right, there we go. It fixes that. Oh, I see what's going on though. Can't find the brush I want. What happened to the brush right here? This is actually Evil Robot's arm. Oh, that was all weird. Now it's fixed. Okay. Now, you know what I still didn't do on this panel is the color holds. So I still have to do that. So let's do the color holds. Let's see, I made everything this brown. Where is it? Line art background. That did nothing. Oh no. Okay. That's the wrong background. Shut that down. This one. There we go. Now we're going to start matching things up here. So I put this dark green on a few things. And that's basically it. Remember, I put it on the top of this hedge or this brush here. And I put it on the bottom of the vines. And the top of the vines, I made a lighter color. So we'll leave nothing unturned, no stone unturned. It's like I never got that, but I'll figure something else out to do that. This is no, not there. Some of this foreground stuff, let's push it to a green. Gotta get the rest of the blinds. And let's grab a lighter green here. Blue. Let's drop it down just a tad. There we go. We can still see some of the line art. It doesn't look like it's like just a glowy thing. Cool. I'm down with this. All right, we're good there. So that's the color holds are in. So now it's the next thing is the banana tree. I'll save this. And got to figure out where the banana tree is. So, turn off the background. Let's name this. This is the big. This is the long background. So at least I know what that is. And the banana tree is basically. Don't need those. All stuff up here. All right, so we're gonna just render it out, and then we're just gonna copy it, merge, and paste it in, and then we'll adjust that highlight. All right. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this so it's all contained within the shape. Oops. Let's get these artifacts there. Okay, so I'm gonna just delete, 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 delete. All right, then we'll just do my rendering. And it's already got cell shading, it's already got everything there. We just need to do some dark gradients here. So to do that, go here on a brush. There we go, we still have it there. Let's just do a. It's gonna make a layer. Dark green. We need the right color. Which means oops. It. That color. There we go. That just makes it look a bit better. Now we're gonna do light grain. That works. Now, let's see. So I'm going to just kind of knock that down a little bit. I'm going to highlight it. Screen. We want screen. Yet effective.